Out of nowhere, question of the week is going to my guy, the Hater University alumni, Mr. Nick Ram. What's going on, my dude? How are you?
What is going on?
Chilling, chilling. My question for you is a little complicated one, but I want you to best describe for all of our listeners and all of our fans. What is it about AEW that's so bad, and what is it about WWE that's so good? And I'm just going to give you a reference that you can go off of. We had a cage match on Sunday, Will Ospreay versus Kyle Fletcher, that I thought was a phenomenal cage match.
hmm
Then we had a cage match on Monday night, CM Punk versus Seth Rollins, that I also thought was a good cage match. If you ask me, I preferred Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay, but the IWC is saying it's the other way around. Why is it that that match wasn't as good as the WWE one?
I think when it really comes down to it, people are just gonna find ways to hate on AEW any way they can. So these matches they're 1 day apart, and up until this point, I would argue that Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay is match of the year contender. You know,
Hmm.
and it has nothing bad about the Seth Rollins CM Punk match. I thought it was not as good, but it was a way higher quality match than I'm used to in WWE programming. I think the issue always comes down to a little bit of tribalism. Look what CM Punk can do at his age, but Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher, well, they're just part of this mud show. And then also, for its own good, and people are going to hate that I say this, but for its own good, AEW is so good at putting on matches that it's even hard to say if Kyle Fletcher, Will Ospreay was match of the night on a pay-per-view that had stellar matches up until the main event, compared to a Monday Night Raw that the only talking point was the main event.
Okay. I see what you're saying. But why is it that still everyone was saying that's not a cage match between Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher, and the one with CM Punk and Seth Rollins was what a cage match should be?
Oh man, that just sounds like Bully Ray. Um, this is what cage fighting should look like. Yeah, I don't get it. The AEW cage was higher. It was higher up. I thought they put better storytelling into the AEW cage match, because immediately Will Ospreay showed that half his arsenal was cut off,
Hmm.
and he had to adjust. But like I said, but coming from AEW, that's just regular standard. WWE puts on a cage match in a smaller cage, whatever. But CM Punk suplex, I'm sorry, Seth Rollins suplexes CM Punk off a 10-foot cage compared to a Spanish fly off of 15. And we're all going crazy for that suplex simply because we're not used to it on this kind of programming.
Hmm.
You know,
Okay.
it was in a sense exciting for WWE to go that extra step and give me something this cool.
Right. Right.
I will
I like that.
say, just to add a little extra note, I will say though, I feel like both shows missed the point of what a cage match is for, which is to exclude any interference. And both cage matches had interference from the outside. Besides that, I thought they were both phenomenal. I had no issue with either or.
I definitely agree with you. I thought they were both good matches. Like I said, I just truly thought the one on AEW was just a better match for the
Mhm.
wrestling side. The cinematic, which we will talk about what happened at the end of that cage match on Monday Night Raw. But before we get into all that, we are going to talk some pretty deadly. Our guy Speedball Mike Bailey made a debut. Hyped to talk about him. But let's go ahead and start our show.
Four sides of the ring, four sides of the ring. Everybody out here got an opinion, your ego shall die in the ring. If the debate's getting heated, we hear you know spit fire in the ring. We them guys in the ring. Leave with your pride in the sling. Four sides of the ring. Four sides of the ring. Everybody out here got an opinion. Your ego should die in the ring. If the debate's getting heated, we eating. You know it's spit fire in the ring. We them guys in the ring. Leave with your pride in the sling. Four sides of the ring.
What is going on, Ringside? Your favorite faction is back. I am your guy, Marcus Hernandez, the founder, and I am with my one and only, well, I have two brothers technically, but my one and only tag team partner here, Nick Ram, the one that makes you say, oh, damn, who is a Hater University alumni. I heard you guys added a new member, a dean,
Yeah.
who is in our chat. His name is Booking Like a Mark. What's going on, Mark? He also says he agrees with you about having that AEW was a better match, so
hmm He knows. We represent the same university, man. He's making sure our budget stays intact and that we don't go
yeah.
off the walls.
That's true. We also have Rick 8-Bit in the building. He says, what's up, brother? He also agrees with you. Cage is meant to keep the nonsense out. But
100%.
I'm not sure if you know this or not. I know everybody else doesn't know this. We did a little secret. This is bigger than the Hardy Boys coming back at WrestleMania. Ladies and gentlemen, we are with the one and only Brandy Savage, who's making a return tonight.
Bringing
Welcome
myself back
back.
to the full size, baby. What's up? Very excited to be here, man. I've missed you guys. I see you guys weekly, some of you daily, but it's good to see you, man. It's good to be back.
The one and only Brandy Savage. How you been, my guy? Where you been at? The world must know. What happened? Why'd you disappear?
Man, I had to take a hiatus. We all gotta take one. I went to a few places, parts unknown. I went to Bali, Dubai. I've been managing the Zombie King while he was on his vacation, and I took a little vacation after he returned from his vacation.
My man said, you know what? I need a break now.
It was a lot of work.
True.
He
True,
was doing the
fellas.
heavy lifting, but still, man, type
Hey, you're the one who's getting them booked, though. You know what I mean?
all over the world.
All over the world on our credit card that I had to cancel because y'all maxed it out. So
That's why I'm back.
oh man, fellas, we had some good wrestling this week. Really, really good wrestling this week. Let's start off with AEW and their pay-per-view Sunday night. What were your thoughts on it? Did you enjoy it from start to finish? Did you feel like it was a little lackluster? Me and Nick Rand spoke about it at the beginning of the show. Some people might say it was a little lackluster. It was too much. One thing that I did see a lot as well, we're gonna talk about this, is the false finishes. People were complaining about the false finishes. Too much of them. It takes the excitement away from the match. You shouldn't eat 3 buckshot lariats and still kick out because that you make somebody's finisher look weak. Nayram shaking his head no up there. What you got on this, Nayram?
The false finishes are only bad if I don't believe them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He hit a buckshot. Boom. That's it. Oh, he kicked out. He hits a second one. There's no way. Oh, he kicks out. I remember as a little kid, I would watch wrestling, and false finishes would have me glued to the TV. And when they kicked out, I would literally push my head off the bed like, holy crap. When is this match going to end? I didn't have that feeling until this pay-per-view came back with 3 different matches. I'm not saying all of them, but 3 different matches had a lot of false finishes, and every time they set one up, I fell for it like a little kid. And I loved it.
I mean, I agree with you, man. I truly do love false finishes. And like you said, he hit one. You're like, okay, game over. MJF is out. Kicks out 2. All right, there's no way. Does it again. You're like, yo, what? How is this even possible? Hits the 3rd one, kicks out. You're like, MJF is a god. What do we need to do to beat him? We probably need to kill him. Brandy Savage, how you feeling about the false finishes? Do you feel like it's a little too much, or do you think that it's exciting and it keeps the match going?
I'm not gonna lie, Ram kind of sold me on it, but I mean, I understand the point of a false finish. Like, you gotta do what you gotta do to make us pop. And a lot of times, like getting that crowd, that's gonna be a huge reaction. I do love a good false finish in the sense, like he said, if you make it believe it, and like what other place to have a false finish? Like I only believe in false finishes on pay-per-views. We do that on a regular show, that's kind of wasted. But so in the pay-per-view, that's the place for it.
Mhm.
No, yeah, that's facts too. There's definitely when it's a pay per view, you're absolutely right. There's a place for it. It's not a regular Wednesday night. It's not a Saturday night. So it's not. And this is something big. You know what I mean? These two guys or two gals that we're going to talk about this match next. But MJF and Hangman, you know what I mean? They have a blood rivalry going on. So they just got to do everything they can to keep themselves in that match. Another thing I saw on the IWC this week was the Tony Storm Mariah May match, the Hollywood ending, which I thought personally was a phenomenal match. 5 out of 5 stars. If Dave Meltzer was on the show, that's probably what he gave it. But I thought this match was really good from start to finish, right? It was phenomenal. The one thing that people were complaining about that I just don't get, there was too much blood. Women shouldn't bleed. It's not for them. It takes away from the elegance of the women themselves. And that shouldn't be about they shouldn't be doing that. And it was way too much. And you know what? Turn off your TV then. Don't watch it if you're gonna complain. Because that match was great. They proved to the world that they can do it just as great, if not better than the men. And that probably was the best match that the both of them had together. It sucked that it had to be the last and final match, and I'm sure we'll get to see them again down the line. But that right there was match of the year, like contender to me. From start to finish, it was great. The I'm pretty sure she took from Kendrick the end. You know what I mean? When the camera zoomed out and showed the entire picture, but it was beautiful from start to finish. Brandy, do you feel like it was too much blood? It was too violent for women wrestling.
The funny part about it is like my response to those type of like reaction is like, damn, more blood. But unfortunately, they probably shouldn't do more blood than they did. Because it was already too much, but not too much in the way of like I'm more into health concerns than it is about women shouldn't be bleeding. I mean, she
Hmm.
bladed too far. She bladed too far. It is what it is. But that doesn't take away from the match. If anything, added to it. It's like that, that black and white and red. Like it's beautiful.
That's facts,
And
definitely. Go ahead, Never.
I'll say, not to mention, look at the spots that these women were doing. There's no way they don't bleed that way. You know what I mean? If I
Hmm.
put tape around my hand, stick it in some glass, and punch Brendan in the face, he should not have a simple little blood cut. He should be gushing blood. You know what I mean? So it's a blood feud. There was blood there. Like Tony Storm said on Wednesday night, I bleed like a pig. Let her. You know, what are we complaining about? We're complaining it's too much blood for what? Too much blood for women or too much blood?
Maybe both.
I don't know.
Maybe both, but from what I was, just seeing and reading, and the IWC is full of hate, and I think we all know this as somebody who's part of Hater University, but you don't hate as much as the IWC. Sometimes you might, and we could probably testify to that, but still, I just what I was just like, why y'all complaining about the blood? Like to me, that was women's wrestling at its finest. You know what I mean? That was
Mhm.
we weren't going to get no better than that. And we've all said on this show plenty of times, Tony Storm is the women's roster when it comes to AEW, right? When you want good wrestling, you're going to put Tony Storm at the forefront. Of course, they have plenty of other women who could do it, but Tony Storm is that woman. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
She attracts people. She gets people on TV screens, and I just thought that was a phenomenal match. Another match that people were complaining about that was part of the out of nowhere question of the week was the Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay cage match. They shouldn't be doing the Spanish fly off the top rope. That was unsafe. Why is Kyle Fletcher licking somebody's blood off the cage? Why are they bleeding? Kyle Fletcher's a maniac. He's insane. You know what I mean? He was just trying to show people to the world I could do this way better than he can, and I'm gonna prove it. He didn't, but like Will Ospreay said on Wednesday night, that man is a future world champion, and he's not lying because Kyle Fletcher is a great wrestler. What were your thoughts on this match right here in the rim? Did you think it was or did
So
you enjoy it?
I told Brandy this. I was like, when you watch the pay per view, and you guys know, I sent in a text message after these matches. I was like, oh, it's gonna be real hard to top this. It's gonna be real hard to top this. The main event's gonna let me down. I even tweeted that. I was like, the main event's gonna let me down. This match or Tony Storm's match should have been the main event.
I agree.
These were the two finest matches you could put on with the two best stories in the company. I think either one would have been fine main eventing. I think the people complaining, oh, why are they looking blood and stuff? It was always this whole thing. The feud is Kyle Fletcher is copy paste repeat Will Ospreay. So he wanted to show I'm on a different level. I lick this blood off the cage. 10 minutes later, Will Ospreay was dripping blood and started just licking his hands, and you're not on my level. Even when you're at your worst, it can't be on my level. And that I thought the storytelling to that whole match was incredible.
I agree. Brandy Savage, how are you feeling about that cage match? Do you feel like everybody else? Do you feel like Bully Ray and do you think that the CM Punk Seth Rollins was way better and that's what a cage match was supposed to be, not what AEW was, showing? Shouts out to Bully Ray and Busted Open Radio, by the way, but we're gonna be talking about those guys all night. But how do you feel about that, Brandy?
Um, It's such an interesting take to have right after this match. Like, because obviously it's a slight towards like the other promotion, and it's like the fact is that was a better match.
Hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, and talk about I don't know what the term is, but not false. Like, I don't know, but I'm getting ahead of myself. I started talking about the other match, but this match is definitely by far better than the other match in the sense of because it's just that's more poetry, that's more art, that's more wrestling. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? I can't I was upset when I heard Billy Ray say that. And y'all know I'm a WWE mark, but it's like sometimes they just be saying the stupidest thing. Like, why can't
It's
we
that
just be partial?
it's that payroll, man. You know what I mean? It's that payroll.
Put me on
Um,
payroll. I'll start saying some stupid things too, I guess.
Uh, booking like a Mark says, or false finishes are just storytelling tools. If the story is good, they add to the drama. If the story is
Mhm.
weak, false finishes don't mean anything. And I truly agree with that. Well said,
100%.
booking. Well said, Mark. Fellas, let's move on. I want to talk about Pretty Deadly, and I want to know: is it time to put the tag team titles on my guys here? Now it's been years. I'm going to say years since they've been on the main roster. I thought that they were going to get pushed to the sky and above. This is your forefront of the tag team division. These guys are phenomenal wrestlers. They're great. Yes, they've had injuries. That sucks. But now they're both healthy. They're in great shape. They look like they're going to finally get their hands on the titles. Brandy, do you think it's time to put the titles on Pretty Deadly?
And you said it yourself. It was always time. Fortunately, they suffered from that injury back in the day, a couple years ago when they first got up to the main roster. But I think they were about to go for the titles right then and there. And man, like I'm so excited because this is definitely time. Those boys, yes, boy, is the obvious answer to the is it their time.
Nip, how you feeling about the Yes Boys? You think it's their time finally to get their hands on the tag team titles?
Yeah, I think it's well overdue. The tag team division is lacking something, and it's called personality. The tag team division it has great wrestlers. You know what I'm saying? You got DIY, great wrestlers, lacking personality. The Viking Raiders or War Machines, whatever they're going by now, lacking personality. Street Profits, unfortunately, just aren't in the spotlight right now, but they do have personality. I'll give them that. Who else? The most City Machine Guns, fabulous wrestlers. They're lacking personality. Put the titles on people that people can get behind. Put it on the Yes Boys.
Put
Pretty
it on them.
Deadly has personality. They're a draw and they're fun to watch. And I hate to say it, but in the tag team divisions with great wrestlers, they're also great wrestlers. They're probably better than
Mhm.
some of the guys I just named. The truth be told. So yeah, throw it on them. There's no reason they should not be tag team champions.
Hey,
And
100%.
they were also great. Like it looks like when they got injured, he was in the wheelchair for his arm. Like they're hilarious. They're hilarious. With or without it. Like on some Chelsea Green like stuff. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? She's like they could do it all. With or without the belts, they deserve the belts.
No, yeah, they're a great talent. Number one. Number two, if they do get their hands on the tag team champions, they'll be like a Grand Slam champion when it comes to the WWE, right? They've held the NXT UK tag team titles. They've held the NXT tag team titles. All they're missing is a main roster tag team titles. Now, if you want to say that they have to hold SmackDown and Raw, fine, we can say that. But I personally will just say if they hold either or, that makes them a Grand Slam champion, and it would actually make them one of the only wrestlers on the roster that's held all three tag titles in each of those separate promotions. So let's do it, man. Give my guys the titles; they definitely deserve it. They busted their ass plenty. Like you both said, they have everything that you want. The gimmick, they can wrestle. The crowd is behind them, whether they're face or heel. I love the things that they were doing with Tiffany and Naomi, or Nia Jax. I'm sorry, with Nia Jax when they were just trying to hype Tiffany up and stuff like that. So anytime they're on screen, it's phenomenal work. You know what I mean? You're either laughing or you're agreeing with them. But I don't think I've ever ran into anybody who said, "Nah, those guys suck." And if they ever told me that, then we got to have a conversation about tag team wrestling. You know what I mean? Because these guys are phenomenal guys. They're great. They deserve some gold around their waist. It's time. It might be a little past due time. You know what I mean? They've been baking in the oven for a little too long now. It's time to go ahead and let everybody enjoy the feast.
I agree.
You know, Naomi dropped some words on Bianca Belair. called her a bitch on TV. No bleep, which was okay. We're doing this now. WWE's getting there. You know what I mean? But fellas, do you really think Naomi did this by herself on Jade Cargill? Do you think she's the one who did it solely by herself, or do you think she actually had some help in the background? Now, one personally for me, fellas, I'm not gonna lie. I still think Bianca's guilty. I don't care that she's releasing TikTok saying that y'all thought it was me, it wasn't me. I still think it was you because you're doing way too much behind the scenes for me not to point the finger that you helped or told Naomi to do this. Brittany Savage, what do you think about your girl Naomi? And do you feel like she did this by herself, or is there a puppeteer playing the strings?
I think I don't know what it is, how it's gonna play out, but somehow, some way, Bianca's heel. I mean, Bianca's the villain here. She's definitely the orchestra. She's definitely like it. Just to me, the way that the match is gonna be set up, if it is gonna be that triple threat that we all think it's gonna be, it has to be that big turn of a heel. So it has to be Bianca.
Hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? Like we're weeks and weeks away, so they're gonna keep dragging it out, but like it's gonna turn out, and then she's gonna be evil. We're gonna get evil Bianca, and I'm so excited for it.
It's gonna be great.
And you know what? Let's talk about it because Marcus always said, "Look, Bianca is Jane Cena. She can't go heel. This, and that." But now,
She just proved my point
John
that she's
Cena's
even.
heel now, man.
But she's proving my point that she's even more of a Jane Cena going heel now. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
she just has to follow the footsteps.
Yep. Follow the
There's
footsteps.
one thing Triple H loves is to take real good baby faces and just go ahead and heal it up. New
Hey,
Day, Cena. You know what you guys are gonna do this year? Get booed. Yeah.
Worst people of all time.
I still think it'd be great if the New Day came out with pancakes and just like instead of throwing, you know how
And
they
ate
used
them
to
in
throw them
front of
out,
kids.
eat them, yeah, just
Oh,
eat them in
dude.
front of children
I would
instead of throwing
die.
them out, just eat them.
It'd be hilarious.
That'd be great. Um, Never, how you feel, man? Do you think Naomi's doing this by herself, or do you think Bianca had part in it?
I don't think Naomi did it by herself, but I'm actually the opposite of you guys. I don't think Bianca has anything to do with this. I think Bianca is guilty in the fact that she doesn't care that Jade even got attacked. She doesn't care to justify it. She doesn't care to check on old girl. She doesn't care for any reason. You know what I'm saying? Like we haven't seen her go to Jade and be like, when he was in the hospital. You don't hear nothing like that. I think Naomi called some family to take out the threats. And I think she bloodline. I think they got Nia Jax. Because I'm not gonna lie, ain't no way Naomi picked up Jade Cargill and slammed her. She doesn't have the muscle.
That we
I
know
think
of.
I think of women who have that muscle. I think of two people, and I don't think it's Bianca. So
You
give
don't
me
think
Nia
Bianca has
Jax.
that muscle?
No, I said I think of two people who do,
Oh,
but I
and you're
don't think it's
excluding her.
Bianca.
Okay, I
No.
got you.
Raquel Rodriguez.
Yeah, but they already did the plot twist on that one. That's already out
Yeah.
the door.
That's true too. That's true too. Well, I don't know. I truly, like I said, I truly still like in my mind how it rolls is Jade Cargill is going to meet Naomi again in the ring, and Bianca will be there this time, and Naomi's just going to be laughing, and Jade's going to be like, "What are you laughing about?" And Bianca's going to hit her with her finisher and tell her it was me this entire time.
I think, and I hope it's not this cheesy. I think they're gonna show a vignette where Bianca's like, if Jade wasn't around, you would be my tag team partner, and like taps her on the shoulder or something, and then Naomi just goes crazy. I hope it's not that cheesy, but I wouldn't put it past them.
True. True. You got everybody also pointing out the fact that Bianca and Jade would dress the same and Naomi wouldn't. You know what I mean? When they would all come out to wrestle together when they were wrestling as a
Mhm.
trios. So there's a lot of speculation. But I still speculate until you're innocent until proven guilty here at Four Sides of the Ring. And Bianca, you're still a little guilty. Like I said, you're just doing a little
You
too
just
much.
contradicted yourself.
No. I
You
still
said
think.
innocent until proven guilty. Bianca, you're still guilty though. We don't
Oh,
need
I'm
the
sorry.
proof.
I'm sorry. You're guilty. You're guilty until you're proven innocent. My bad. And she's guilty. I apologize. But I'm just saying. I truly feel like she's behind a lot of this going on, and I think I think Naomi and Bianca are just playing it well. Let's make it seem like it was just you until we both can get her again, and maybe take her out for a final time.
I love, I love the memes. I know you've seen it with Bianca's face on Rikishi's body. I did it for Bianca.
Oh man, fellas, we had a new, well, not new, two-time United States champion LA Knight has beaten Shinsuke Nakamura. One, are you excited that he won the title again? Two, what do you want next for this run, and how can it be better than his first run? Let's start with Knit Ram.
Should have been anybody else. I love LA Knight. I think he's a fabulous character. I think his time is kind of overwashed already. It should have been Carmelo Hayes. It should have been Andrade. It should have been. There's so many options right now of who should have took that belt off Shinsuke. That when it went to LA Knight, I was literally like, what was the point? I mean, obviously the point was to re-sign Shinsuke, but what was the point? You had no long term on this. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And I like LA Knight. I really do. I know Brandy, he almost grew on Brandy, and then Brandy said, nah, that guy's fake. He phony. But he still gets the pop from me. The LA Knight, yeah, I love it. Don't need the belt on him anymore. I just hope this is real quick. I hope it's a quick thing. No 3-man match at Mania. He drops it to somebody who can elevate. LA Knight's already peaked. I need someone who can elevate.
That's well said. Somebody who can elevate the title and themselves at the same time. Brandon Savage, how are you feeling about LA Knight and his two-time United States Championship win? And do you think he can have a better run than his first run with this title?
Nah, I don't think he can have a better run. I think he he's like he said, he's peaked. He's absolutely peaked. And that's not coming from a hater. I feel like this was like more of a reward for the backlash that he got for not being in the elimination chamber or whatnot.
Mhm.
Mm,
But like he said, there's so many other people. You can drop down a main eventer to this level, or you can bring up somebody. And you had so many people available from, like he said, Andrade, Hunter. Like you can, I mean, there's so many people on on both brands who could represent that belt. I feel like you didn't have to give it to LA Knight. And personally, I'm still mad at the first reign for ruining the 7 game series, the 7 match series of Andrade and Carmelo Hayes. I felt like I would have rathered one of them held the belt, and this way they can finish that 7th match for a title, for real, for real. That would have led to a better reign, in my opinion, than anything LA Knight is gonna do with this belt. I feel like it was lackluster the first time. I feel like there's no ways of improving it. I do hope it's a quick reign for someone else to elevate,
Mhm.
but
mm.
probably not.
You know what? I agree with the both of you, man. I truly thought one. I don't think I agree with him. LA Knight doesn't need this title. You know what I mean? He doesn't need this title. He actually needs to be on bigger, better things. It's hard with the Cody Rhodes thing going on and everything, so you really can't ride him in main event or main title picture yet. But yeah, he just doesn't need this. And I agree with both of you. Andrade, Carmelo, Jimmy. There's guys that you could build on your mid card right now that could just do these great things for you. And we chose LA Knight, and I'm not hating on LA Knight because I'm a fan of LA Knight. But at the same time, it's just these things that I don't want to see. And him as champion is lackluster, number one, because it doesn't elevate him, because like you both said, he's already there. So it's just his body holding some gold just to fill a space. And you really could have just chose anybody to fill that space and allowed them to build themselves. And if it didn't work, you had the title swap hands. And if that person didn't work, you have the title swap hands again. It's okay if the title is switching every 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks. You know what I mean? Reigns don't have. We talked about it before. Reigns don't have to be 6 months, 8 months, 10 months. You know what I mean? Especially when it comes to mid card titles, these are kind of titles you want to see constantly changing hands, right? You want to say, oh, Andrade got it. Oh, he's got Carmelo. Carmelo could probably beat him. Carmelo beat him. What now? Andrade's got to come back and try to get that belt, but now Jimmy's in the picture. You know what I mean? There's just guys, a lot of guys you could elevate. The Miz is on SmackDown. Give the Miz the United States Championship. You know what I mean? He's a veteran who could probably help and elevate younger talent. Because I personally believe LA Knight can elevate younger talent, let alone
Exactly.
talent that's around his age or in his, I guess you could say, level when it comes to wrestling. You know what I mean? Because there are better wrestlers than him. Carmelo Hayes is a way better wrestler than LA Knight. Andrade, obviously, a way better wrestler than LA Knight. I might even say, Five Bag Jimmy's a better wrestler than LA Knight.
Just about
You
there.
know,
Yeah.
so I
And
agree. I agree with both of you, man.
and just to quickly add to it, what's the story here? Because LA Knight's Mania story is Damian Priest, and if we're demoting Damian Priest back to mid card, this is stupid.
I
I
don't
know.
agree with that. I don't agree with that. I don't agree
I'll
with that.
just like what's the point in demoting Damian Priest back to a mid card? He just got into the main title picture, and I know I'm big on. I was sick of his title run, but keep him in that main event picture. This
Hmm.
should have been Jacob Fatu and Solo story. That's who I think it should have went to.
Jacob Fatu solo. You're right. You know what I mean? That'd have
With
been great
that.
too. That would have been, you know what I mean? That'd have been a decent. I think demoting Priest wouldn't kill him because he's still chasing some type of gold. But I do agree that he shouldn't get demoted because we just got him back in the main event picture.
I think he's one of those people in the sense who is done ever being a champion. And I mean main champion. And that's for Damian Priest. And I don't even think like at this point he should probably even have championship reigns. He's like a Shinsuke Nakamura where he's a perennial contender
Hmm.
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 for any title really. And he's always gonna be in because he's talented enough to be in any uh like gimmick match, like Elimination Chamber or anything like that.
Yep. Rick Abel says Cena only had 16 reigns because most of his reigns would last only a month, and it was still good.
Hmm.
And when he lost it for a few months. He didn't just gain it right back, right? And then once he got it back, you're like, word, the champ got his belt back. And then he also says Knight is just getting fed to the Samoan Werewolf, and if that's the case, if we're gonna put the titles on Jacob Fatu and let him reign with it, I'm cool with that too. You know what I mean? But you could have just I would much rather see Andrade versus Jacob Fatu or Carmelo Hayes versus Jacob Fatu. I don't need LA Knight. I get he's good on the mic and I get he'll give you the promos that you want, but I don't need that. I don't need him going one on one with Jacob Fatu because I want to see Jacob Fatu shine on the mic. You know what I mean? I want to see Jacob Fatu shit on the champion. And he could do that against Andrade. He could probably do that against Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo can hold his own on promos too, but he's just not going to do it better than Jacob Fatu. Where you have somebody in LA Knight who's going to try super hard to be better, and he's not going to be.
I will say though, now that we're saying it out loud, if they cut a promo and LA Knight says, and everybody's saying, and right before he can get to his, Jacob goes, Fatu! I might pop. I will go on the podcast and forgive everybody if that exact moment happens.
True. Well, speaking about the former United States champion who sadly lost his match and lost his belt, who I am a super fan of, my guy Shinsuke Nakamura. It turns out he's going to be sitting out the rest of his contract. He is not resigning with the E. Fellas, what do you think is up for Shinsuke? Do you think he's just going to retire, Hall of Fame first ballot, maybe? Do you think he's going to move back to go back to Japan? Do you think he's AEW bound, or do you think my man is just going to lay low, live life, and just chill out? Randy Savage, what are your thoughts?
I think he's gonna live his best life for free agency. I think he's gonna be an indie star, take the Ginger Mahal route, and just be everywhere. You know what I mean? Just tour the world, tour the country, and like someone mentioned earlier, he's an surfer. He gets to, like I said, live his best life. Like I think that's probably what you can't ask for anything better than that. He's got his big payday. He's up there. Oh, he's up there, but he's super talented.
Mm-hmm.
So so
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be the
Never,
best thing for him.
never. How you feeling about Shinsuke Nakamura?
I think there's two things Shinsuke is going to consider once his contract is up, and one of them is that his great friend Hiroshi Tanahashi is on his retirement tour in New Japan Pro Wrestling. This is his last year. I think he will show up in Japan for that, as
Mm-hmm.
he did for the Great Muta on his retirement tour. And then you also have the fact that Shinsuke never won the world title in this company, which is a damn shame. It's a
Yeah,
damn shame.
Disrespectful.
Deserved one run. I don't care what anyone says. Deserved one run. Um, I think he goes to AEW if they promise him that specifically. We want you to be world champion. I think he'll do a short run. Like I said, short run. He'll lose the title eventually to somebody. It'll be transitional, and then he'll have his farewell match with Okada, who we all know is once again one of his best friends.
Yeah. Yeah. That's one thing I was thinking is like, oh, he could go to AEW and have a match with Okada. I wasn't even thinking about the Hiroshi Tanahashi because I forgot he's also on a retirement tour right now.
Mm-hmm.
So you're absolutely right. Could go wrestle one of his other great friends out there in his home country, which would sell tickets. Would probably sell out a Tokyo Dome if that's where they wanted to do it. You know what I
I'd
mean?
stay up for it.
100%. You also, but you also have the fact he has said that the one thing he loves about America is that he gets to surf and he gets to do that the hobby that he loves. I don't want to say he's retiring from wrestling. I think maybe like you said, Nitran, maybe he sat down and really thought about how come I was never world champion with this company? Why not me? Because I should have been. He definitely should have been. Um, there plenty of times probably you could have wrote him in a story to become champion. I
He
get
should
it
have
was
beat
hard.
Jinder. Let's be
He should
honest. That
he
that
should
was the
have beat
time.
yeah. That
That
was
was
the
the
time.
time. He should have
He
beat
should have
Jinder.
he should have been yeah. He should have beaten Jinder. You're absolutely right. Before the belts became the Universal Champion, he should have held either Raw or SmackDown.
would y'all have accepted like a week to month reign, like and like someone in the middle of a story wins it and then they win it right back within the next week? Do y'all like even like Drew McIntyre's 9 second like 1 minute and 30 second reign? Y'all
But
consider that a championship run? Would y'all have accepted
yeah,
that for Shinsuke?
it's in the history books. That's what
And
that's
that,
what I mean.
and that's what I
At
mean.
least
Like
one.
it feels so lazy that you can't give the man that one.
Right. 100%. But my thing is the why. You know what I mean? Why didn't he get that one? Because he was fantastic for Triple H's NXT. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic champion. Proves to the world he could do this with the best of the best, and then one he comes over to the main roster with the filthy intro music, filthy gimmick. Um, then you kind of try to switch it up a little bit. Then you kind of make him a little bit darker. I think he just
Won
got
the
to the point
Rumble.
where he won the Rumble. Yeah, you know what I mean. And I think he just got to the point where it's just like, man, you guys are giving me the flowers, but you're not giving me the vase to put them in with the water. These flowers are just dying.
Mm-hmm.
So and I need that vase. I need that vase so these flowers can blossom and just continue to live. And it's sad to say that Shinsuke Nakamura was on your roster and he didn't hold the world championship. And we say that about some wrestlers, right? We said it about Daniel Bryanson before he decided to, retire from AEW or whatever the case might be with him. But we all said it. You can't have Daniel Bryanson on your roster and not have him as world champion.
Right.
There's just certain things that have to be in the history books, and I think Shinsuke Nakamura definitely deserves to be in the history books when it comes to the WWE. Randy Savage sounds like he says he's going to retire. Nate Ram says he might just do one last run and go wrestle all the guys that he said he wanted to wrestle, and I think the same thing as Nate Ram. I think he's just going to go and wrestle all the guys he wants to wrestle, and then hang up his boots and call it a career. Last question before we move on: do you guys think he is a Hall of Famer for the WWE, Randy Savage?
So I guess he's gonna retire. I say he's gonna tour and just be like an indie star, like slow, like chill out. But absolutely a Hall of Famer. Like I wouldn't say first ballot. He'll probably be like a couple years from now. He'll probably be one of those later people. But absolutely for what he's done for WWE and what he's done for outside of WWE is without a doubt a Hall of Famer.
Never.
Yeah, 100%. He's a Hall of Famer for sure. But he's not a headliner. And you know why he's not a headliner? It's because he's never been world champion.
Sad.
I mean, that's the truth. That's why it sucks.
No, you're absolutely right. I agree with you. But that's sad. Before we move on and take a short break, Rick 8-Bit says, you gents think LA Knight and Braun Breaker switch brands after WrestleMania?
I hope not. I like watching Braun wrestle on Raw. I don't watch SmackDown like that.
LA Knight fits like the mold of like what Raw has always been, which is just like the older stars, more established guys, and Braun and SmackDown's like the younger guys. I'm interested to see if they change the draft rules this year. 'Cause I know they last year they were like no champions can be traded. I didn't even like that rule. I hated that rule.
He also says he would love to see Shinsuke spend some time in NXT again. I think as cool as that would be, I think he just doesn't fit the dynamic of where NXT is at right now. And I don't want to see my guy get murdered by Obafemi.
I don't know, but I would pop if Oba was like, "Who here gonna beat the ruler?" and you just heard the violins go off. I would go absolutely nuts. But yes, I don't want to see him get murdered by Oba because that's what's gonna that's how they're gonna book it. You know what I'm saying? Like
It's definitely gonna be crazy. Let's move on to a quick break and we'll talk about what's happening on X with NitRam.
Dive into a world where every pinfall, every suplex, and every promo is celebrated in fashion. From the legendary 3-count trivia to the iconic bad guy wrestling, we've got the latest gear to elevate your wrestling wardrobe. Show off your passion for the squared circle. It's not just clothing, it's a lifestyle. Come shop with us and unleash your inner champion at foursidesofthering.com. That's foursidesofthering.com.
foursidesofthering.com. You can get all our latest merch. I think we're making a move, so get what you can right now. Brandy Savage has got a lot of things cooking up, and we apologize first of all if you bought anything from spring and it took forever to get to you. We're still new to this game. We're still figuring it all out, and we even got caught. You know what I mean? I bought a shirt. And I'm still waiting on it. So spring,
that's me too.
Spring, get your shit together. That's all I'm going to say. Other than that, shop with your boys. Brandy Savage, can you have any updates on the shop and when people can finally when we're gonna move to a better location?
Well, that's still to be determined. But as of right now, if you still want to shop on Spring, we got new gag caps, we got new T-shirts, we got new graphics, we got a lot of new stuff on there as well. The gag caps are really dope ones. They come with they're like stitched, so it's like it's an embroidered patch. Those actually are really fun.
Might have to go cop one tonight when you see your boy wearing the new dad cap. Let's move on to our segment. What's happening on X? NitRam, what is happening on X this week, my guy? Let the people know.
Guys, there's something that boils my blood about Twitter, and that seems to be like certain people feed tribalism strictly to get views. And I don't think WWE Hall of Famer, TNA Hall of Famer, Bully Ray should be encouraging the tribalism on Twitter. So, we talked about him earlier, but look at this backhanded compliment. He said MJF and Hangman segment was really, like, he really enjoyed it. Can't wait for there to be a WWE to show you how real stars. What? So, I went out there and I said, this is the type of people who don't actually care about wrestling. They just care about who signs their checks. And then somebody named Bizarro Babyface pretty much defending the tribalism, because you would think he's getting a check from them too, was sitting there talking about, well, AEW is falling in ratings and Bully Ray just speaks what the fans are saying. And no, Bully Ray is on WWE payroll. This is a known fact. He is part of the LFG show. That is a WWE show. He's on their payroll. He can only say positive things about WWE. We should not feed into Bully Ray's opinions because they're based bias. Personally, the man shouldn't say anything about AEW at all because look how he does it. He gets a backhand compliment. This is how real cage fighting is supposed to be. Bully Ray and Busted Open Radio is a WWE product at this point, and it's ridiculous that people will sit here and ridicule people like Dave Meltzer, Sean Ross Sapp, reporters for reporting something, and they'll get all this backlash about, oh, you guys are in the pockets of these people, when Bully Ray is literally in the pocket of WWE and gets nothing for it. Nothing. So, Brandy, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to ask you, should we be taking criticism seriously from people who are paid by a certain company?
On that company's payroll, I don't think you can be biased. I just don't think it's even like there are certain things that probably like you can talk about this, but looking at the Steel Cage tweet, it's obvious he's on payroll. And also, I feel like the tweets have gotten a lot more WWE like driven and more obnoxious since LFG has been aired.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
my thing is right here is all he had to do was say, really enjoyed the backstage with MJF and Hangman. That's it. That's your tweet right there. That's it. Just say what you enjoyed. The fact that he had to say, can't wait till one day both of them go to WWE, learn the correct way, and become stars. First of all, my guy, they're both already stars. The fact that you're speaking about them makes them stars, right? These are two of the biggest guys in that company. They both held world championships there. They both held one wins a Dynamite ring. The other one was a tag team champion. Like they're stars, respected stars in their promotion right now. But for him to come out that way and say, I can't wait for both of them to go to the WWE is just diabolical. It's absolutely nonsense.
I just want to
What
add
kills
that
me is
I can't wait for that either.
And then also on shout out to Bizarre Babyface for helping Nate Rand come up with this segment. But my guy, dude, you're not watching wrestling if you're worried about how many fans are watching every year. There was we didn't put it in here, but there was a tweet he said from 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025. I was like, bro, first of all, as a fan, I don't care what nobody says. You should not be worried about ratings. As a fan, you watch what you want to watch. You like what you like. And if you can agree to disagree with certain people, that's why this platform of wrestling is the best thing in the world, because people like what they like and people don't like what they like. And you can have a conversation about those things. And sometimes you could change the mind of other people, right? This dude right here, when Abraham sent me this, I said, it sounds like this man is on the payroll too. You know what I mean? You don't got a picture as a profile, or you don't have an actual profile picture. You know, you're hiding behind your logo there. You know, just come on. Like this is not something that people need to be worried about. And Bully Ray too, like, my guy, you are bigger and better than this. You shouldn't be doing these things. And if you want to shit on the other company, by all means do that. But like, just leave him alone. Like, what's that saying? If you have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all.
And I want to make this clear. Bully Ray could have said something like, hope to see them in WWE one day, and it would not have been this bad. But it's the fact that he said, can't wait for them to be in WWE to learn how to be real stars. I'm going to go ahead and say this. Besides Roman Reigns, right now, AEW, that's one star. AEW has made more stars right now than WWE has. And I'm going to explain why. Because making a star means that they are beyond wrestling. And besides Roman Reigns, I can't name another wrestler on that roster, full-time wrestler, that is beyond wrestling. I just can't. Roman Reigns just did a Hollywood movie. Congratulations. The man is on fire, right? Brandon, can you name another WWE wrestler who just did a Hollywood movie? That's not Cena or The Rock.
Okay.
That's not Cena. That's why I said full-time.
Well, I mean, does Seth Rollins count? He got cut.
His film got cut. He's clearly not a star as far as Hollywood.
Esposito was just it's Gene Carlos Esposito. I understand why they cut Seth Rollins.
I mean,
but my point,
I totally get it.
My point here is, and we're gonna make MJF a star. MJF was an Iron Claw. Hollywood production, got nominated for an Oscar. MJF is in Happy Gilmore 2. Haven't seen it yet. Assume it's funny. Tony Storm is in Queen of the Rings. Camille in Queen of the Rings. They are beyond, at this point, beyond wrestling. They are getting Hollywood roles. They're becoming household names. So for people to say AEW is not making stars is a crazy fact that you
Fine, but
can't
neither
even
of those
prove.
guys, anybody you named, including Roman, is not a leading role. They're not like the big star of the movies either way. I feel like they're creating stars, but they're still not like nobody is on the level like Roman has the most aura in WWE and aura in wrestling. He is also as much as I like maybe asking random people like my waiters and stuff, do they know who Roman Reigns is? And they don't. And it drives me crazy because I'm like, he's a household name. He's not. Man, it's killing me.
Now,
But like
go
he's
ahead.
just like those people, they're all stars, but like I feel like you become a household name or something more in wrestling when WWE. So I get what he means, but the backhanded compliments need to stop. But to tell a man named Bully Ray, if you got nothing nice to say, then don't say it. It's hilarious. I'm not gonna lie.
That's facts. 100%. If you just don't have nothing nice to say, don't say it
But
at
his
all.
name is Bully. Like he gonna say whatever. He gonna say it.
And the man acts like he
He
had
gonna say
a
it.
great solo career.
He had a solo career.
He did in TNA. He didn't draw a dime. Didn't draw a dime for
I
TNA.
was
World
I was
champion
being
twice.
facetious. I was being facetious.
I'm gonna go ahead and say it, Bully. If you watch the show as a solo star, you didn't draw a dime. As a tag team, you are one of the greatest to ever do it. Congratulations. Hold your
Mhm.
flowers up. You deserve every bit of that. But as a solo star, you didn't do nothing for me. Not a damn thing.
Rick Abit says you gotta love the keyboard warriors. He wants to know. He said, "Wait now. What about Cody? Booking like Mark says Naomi wasn't Queen of the Ring, so was Tony Storm." And then he also said, "What about Rhea Ripley?
Is Naomi in Queen of the Rings?
She
I didn't
is.
see her on the
That's
red
actually
carpet.
dope.
She is. She can't be on the red carpet,
She
bro. She
she had
got
the
she got
she had the
murdered by
no, she
Jade
had the
Cargill,
brace
bro.
on. She had a bedazzled brace,
That's a bad
neck
time to get
brace.
murdered.
No, she had a bedazzled neck brace. She was on the red carpet.
I think Rick,
Oh,
what
she
Nick
was?
Ram is saying is
Yeah.
that I don't think Rhea Ripley's in any movies. Neither is Cody Rhodes. I could be wrong, but I don't think I've ever seen them in any type of movie.
You know, but
Actually, I'm curious. Who do y'all think is a bigger star, Cody Rhodes or Rhea Ripley? I feel like it's Rhea Ripley.
eh, this is gonna
Mm.
sound awful.
It
It's
might-
Rhea
mm,
Ripley due to the fact that men are really horny. I know
No,
non-wrestling fans. I know non-wrestling fans who know who Rhea Ripley is because she's a beautiful woman.
That's
Beautiful
mad
woman.
funny. It's true, and also women just support women, so it's true. Yeah.
That's true.
I feel like- yeah.
Well, that's
Love
what's
the
happening
Dodgers.
on that's what's happening on X. Nick Ram defending or battling the IWC every day of the week. Follow him on his Twitter if you want to see who he's arguing with and trying. Honestly, I'm actually really proud of you. This is the one time where you weren't really like trying to defend AEW, but you were just saying that tribalism is just not okay in wrestling.
It's not,
Come
man.
on, just
We need to
just be
get past that.
positive about it. Right, just be positive about it all. Bully Ray, we have a saying at Four Sides of the Ring: if you're not enjoying wrestling, just not watching it, my guy. Come on the show, we could teach you the ways.
He would cuss me out.
Oh,
I
he
don't
would
wanna
leave.
deal with
He
that.
would leave in a second.
He would
would
treat
leave
me
in
the
a
way he
second.
treats sexy BJ Ray.
I'd be like,
Get out here.
I'd be like, out of nowhere, question of the week, Bully Ray. Why were the Hardys a better tag team than the Dudley Boys?
See, he's not
Instant,
coming on the show
instant.
with shit like this.
He would correct your whole question. I don't think you asked the question correctly. I think the question is, why do people think the Hardy Boys are better than the Dudleys?
My man was cook us.
This
I'm
is
not gonna lie.
true. Shouts out Bully Ray. Shouts out Busted Up in Radio. You know, we don't hate, but we're just saying. Lighten up, fellas. Lighten up a little.
No, you
That's
know.
all we're saying. Let's move on, fellas. I want to know AJ Styles, Logan Paul seems like they're about to have a great rivalry and storytelling, and it sounds like they're going to get a match at WrestleMania. But I want to know one thing: do you think AJ Styles will be putting over Logan Paul on the grandest stage at WrestleMania 41? Let's get the thoughts of Brandy Savage.
So actually, I've been thinking about this match a little bit, and I'm creating this graphic, and the reason why I put it is because I feel like this is all for Logan Paul to adopt the phenomenal forearm, which he has a brace in that area. I feel like if Logan Paul adopts that move, it'll be fire for his career. It'll be a great finisher for him. 'Cause I hate the punch. And if you can adopt the phenomenal forearm style, so yes, I think he's going over. I think he's going over with the phenomenal forearm.
Nitram.
I think he has to put over Logan Paul. AJ has 2 years left, this is his words. I'm not wrestling past 50. You won't see me in the ring at 50 years old. His words.
Cap.
Logan Paul is the future. I'm sick of people acting like he's not. He's the future. He is the future of this business. He is going to be a top main event star, probably multiple time champion. I hate to say it, but he will be. He's going to be an arrogant heel for most of his career. We're never going to cheer him. That's perfectly fine. But he's going to have a win over AJ Styles at WrestleMania. He has a win over The Miz at WrestleMania. His WrestleMania resume will be great. And that's fine. I think Logan has to win. And AJ will give it to him.
Okay. I agree with both of you. I do think AJ Styles is going to put him over. I think AJ Styles is going to put over whoever he can in these next 2 years to try to build future stars for the WWE and make people look great. I think Logan Paul is one of them. I think Dominic Mysterio is going to be one. I also think Braun Breaker will also be one. Those are 3 viable names that are the future of the WWE main eventers, probably even guys who are going to be champions, right? Rick 8-Bit says that him and Mark were at the show on Raw. And when Logan Paul was out there, he said you couldn't hear what he was saying because that's how loud the boos were. And I believe it. It was loud on my TV. That was a great crowd at Madison Square Garden. Great crowd. It's always a great crowd at Madison Square Garden. He says, if you can get heat like that, you're going far, and that's true. You know what I mean? If the boos are so loud, look at Dominic Mysterio. You know what I mean? We didn't let him speak, but now people are finally joining the dark side, like me and my boy Chano and Brandy Savage and Nitram, and they see the vision. Dominic Mysterio, world champion. He's the one who goes over Gunther, or maybe Jey Uso. Who knows? But it will happen. But I do agree with you. I do think AJ Styles is going to put over Logan Paul at the greatest stage, give Logan Paul a WrestleMania win, and just shoot Logan Paul to the sky, and hopefully it works. Sometimes though, you see in a case where a wrestler as AJ Styles does this favor, right? Because this is a favor in professional wrestling. You do a favor, you put somebody over, and hopefully that they get the stardom. What sucks is sometimes they can't get that stardom. They need another big push from another superstar. But I think AJ Styles is definitely a viable name to do that for Logan Paul. So we'll see.
Yeah. There's also the rumor that AJ Styles hasn't resigned yet. So
he hasn't, and I think he's capped when he says that he's not going to retire retire at age 50. I would love to see him and Kenny Omega on American soil. That'd be great. I would love to see him wrestle Tanahashi one more time, but I guess if he has 2 years left, that's not going to happen. So who knows? And the way with the Bullet Club story that's kind of coming among AEW right now with Gabe Kid and everybody else from New Japan that was, Bullet Club talking all their smack. You gotta have an original member come through too. You know what I mean? Talk their smack. Can't have Cody Rhodes, so you might as well just give me AJ Styles. We'll see. Speaking about a Bullet Club member, our guy Finn Bálor, the Demon, gets a match from. Well, first of all, he gets a match because our guy Dominic Mysterio was like, "Yo, I got you, bro." I told Adam Pearce this is who Braun Breaker needs to wrestle in Germany next Monday, and it's gonna be you, Finn Bálor, for the Intercontinental Championship. Do you guys think Finn Bálor could become the new Intercontinental Champion and go over Braun Breaker? Nitram.
Nah, man. His crew's setting him up.
You seen it,
They
right?
know he can't. They know he can't beat Braun, and they especially know that my boy Dom has been taking some spears on behalf of Finn lately. I think no Judgment Day member comes out to help Finn, and he gets absolutely squashed.
Damn. You gonna squash my boy in Germany? Like 3:00 in the afternoon?
Like my boy Carlito said, John Cena's a heel now. Well, he thought he was always going to be a babyface like him. I just want to get that out. That was hilarious. Carlito's hilarious.
He's so funny.
I did peep when Finn gave him the hug. You saw like Dom's face, like, "Oh yeah, bro, you don't even know what you're in for." Bernie Savage, do you think Finn Bálor could become a new Intercontinental Champion?
Absolutely not. Like, I would love. It's just no shot. No shot. Well, it'd be like the crazy thing of like if he did win despite them not coming up, but it's not gonna happen. Like I just can't see it. All when I envision this match, all I envision is an amazing spear. Just Finn getting crushed. One, two, three.
So squash match, how long? How long you think? 5-10 minutes?
It's a squash match.
You didn't say squash. Okay, you did say
We're gonna
squash
see a
match.
coup de grace. We're gonna see Finn's package. You know what I mean?
I think
5 minutes.
I think
5-minute match. Finn looks for his crew. They never come out. And Braun just absolutely destroys them.
Rick Abid says he said call him nuts. He thinks Ludwig helps Bálor win and gets added to the Judgment Day.
honestly, I would not. Ludwig just cut his first singles promo, and I was so hype about it. Cause like usually it's braggadocious about Gunther, but to me it was Ludwig, and I was so hyped for it. Like he was cooking, man. Like leave my man in the singles. I'm not gonna lie. I want to see him in singles.
Yeah, leave him alone. You know, it's bad enough
Looking
we're all jealous of Tiffany. Can't
looking
be
like a
jealous
mark.
of Judgment Day too.
Looking like a Mark says he thinks Finn will keep it competitive. I do think Finn will keep it competitive.
Yeah,
He's too
absolutely
good
keep it
to
competitive.
yeah, he's too good to be getting squashed. But I do like your fact that nobody in JD comes to help him. And I think we get Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio at Mania, and at Mania, Finn brings back the demon against Dominic.
I need the demon, but is Dominic the guy to bring the demon out for?
Yes. He's Dirty
No,
Dom.
no, it's not the guy. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Let's
they
put him
actually
in
took
bed.
Dirty out of his name.
I know
Yeah,
they took all the nicknames out.
he's still Seth freaking Rollins to me.
Did you also see the reports that Netflix gave WWE full control of rights when it comes to production, and WWE is the one who decided to black out or
To
mute.
blank out the
Yeah, I think that's crazy. WWE,
Like
you're
that
on
what?
Netflix, bro. You have no like limitations. You don't have to. You have to just
Nah,
cuss
bro,
out the bad
that was
words, bro. Who cares if CM Punk was
that was
flipping them
definitely
off, bro?
Netflix blaming WWE for no reason, bro.
Because they were like, that wasn't us. Because no, Netflix promised us that they won't do that type of shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
so I get it.
It
They're like,
was,
nah,
I'm
nah,
blaming
nah, it wasn't
WWE.
us.
Yeah, WWE Netflix was like, look, y'all, it's not us, it's them. We gave them free range. They don't want
You
to
know
use
the
it.
we know the content we want.
Oh man,
We was mad too.
fellas, we talked about that cage match. We talked about that cage match. You know what the one thing that was great about that cage match? The OTC is back. YTC. Everybody's saying, oh, it's YTC for your tribal chief. But if we're all in the same room, he's our tribal chief. So OTC is still the right
He's your
words to be
tribal
using.
chief. He's your tribal chief. He's your tribal chief. He's your
Yeah.
tribal
So
chief.
he's our tribal chief. OTC Roman Reigns is
All
back,
right,
my
get your ones
man.
up.
My man, yo, listen. Not only did he help Seth Rollins win out of spite, took him
I
out.
didn't do it.
And it zoomed up. It zoomed up on the shirt too. No, but look, helped Seth Rollins win. Saw what was going on between Paul Heyman and CM Punk. He said, nah, chill. You back away from my wise man. Took CM Punk out. Brandy, this is your guy. This is the guy. We've said it multiple times on this podcast. This is the guy that got you back into wrestling. How hyped were you when you saw him take out one of your favorite wrestlers in Seth Rollins and your guy Pepsi Phil?
So I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't home for the main event, you know, so I had to see a little post. But I did text my brother before, like he was actually at Madison Square Garden too, and I texted him. I was like, hey man, Roman was announced for the show low key, but he's not billed. So like he's coming out during the main event. I promise you. And that man came out during the main event. This is Roman's face. But he came out during the main
This
event
is
and
this
Jacob
is your
I basically
doing.
texted Jacob, I ain't have any spoilers yet. So I was like, yo, Jacob, did he come out during the main event? 'Cause I've seen everything up until the main event. So I was like, he has to at this point. And
Right,
he did.
right.
Jacob sends me a video clip of it happening. So I got to see it like from the fans' perspective before I actually got to see it on TV. But I
Mm.
popped from the video, the phone recording, man. I was popping the car, like, yes, it's my baby. But like the whole segment was great. I just, he's not nobody has aura like Roman.
True. Nit Ram, did you pop when you saw your tribal chief?
Yeah, so he helped Seth win. He was, you know, he, yes. I thought it was a great production angle. You just saw Seth get snatched off. Like my boy snatched his hair, bro. I enjoyed the jealous CM Punk thing way more. He looked at Paul Heyman helping CM Punk and said, "No, not my wise man. Get away from my man." Speared him. You know what I mean? I enjoyed that way more than the Seth thing. I know this is leading for a triple threat. I got Roman Reigns to win that match, obviously, but
It's
that's all I
hilarious.
got on that
It's great.
part. Trying to fix my camera.
No, you're good. No,
I've been the
I
one
mean,
down.
I
Like,
popped. It was literally it's what saved Raw because I was like, oh man, something crazy needs to happen at this main event. Obviously, I want a winner. We got a winner. Like I said, he helped Seth Rollins win. Did he want to? Probably not, but he wanted to get his hands on him. I, for one, personally think it's crazy that you can walk out the door in a cage match, get a pin or a submission. What happened to having to climb the cage and jumping over the top? Can we get back to that? Or do they not do that no more since Jeff Hardy decided to do a swanton bomb and risk his body than winning the tag team titles on Monday night?
I'm not
I'll,
gonna
ne-
lie,
I'll,
like
I'll never forget that.
I'll never forget that. I'm
I
not
will
gonna lie,
never
when it
forget that.
happened, like when I seen it, I was like in my head. So like I said, I seen the fan video first. I was like, oh, it's disqualification because Roman put his hands on the person. That means he was, CM Punk loses because he helped CM Punk. You know what I mean? Like that was my
Mhm.
logic originally, and I was like, and then like I watched on TV, they're like, his feet touch the floor. Seth Rollins wins. And I'm like, oh, that's why he won. It didn't make sense because I was like, I forgot about the rule of like it's just your feet touching the floor is a winner. So because back in the old 2K, they don't do it this year, thankfully, but you can press the ref into opening the door, and that's how you win the match. Even in the video games, they were doing that.
Yeah, I still think it's weird though.
Like how much beef you have with somebody that you want a steel cage match, but you're like, I'm just gonna walk out of here. No, that's not beef, man.
No, 100%. I feel that. Well, I'm hyped that the tribal chief is back. Frick 8-Bit says your tribal chief is the heel, original tribal chief is the face, but for me, he's our tribal chief. So it's still OTC, and it's always going to be the ones up forever. Nibram's Google searching. How does he get his camera to zoom out? But we're going to continue to move on.
No,
Fellas,
my app, my my app is not working for the camera.
oh, you're fine. Fellas, we have a double champion crowned on Tuesday night. Brittany Savage and I have gotten the privilege to see her live at Forbidden Door before she made her jump to WWE. Stephanie Vaquer is your new NXT Women's Champion, and she is still the current North American Women's Champion. It looks like Julia's hurt. Sucks for her. We hope you get better. But we are going to talk about Stephanie Vaquer. What do you think is coming for her, Brittany Savage?
So I think it's actually perfect. I think like here, I'm gonna talk about the con real quick. I do think it's too soon for that belt to be held by one person for like both belts in a sense because it's a brand new belt. So it's a weird situation for that belt. But she is so far ahead of talented than everybody else. Her and Julia are so much more talented than everybody else that if Julia's hurt, it makes sense for her to be double champ. Like
Hmm.
it's just like one of those things where she's absolutely the best on NXT. That match was they brought the house down. I think she's definitely like the person to be double champ for even if it's I hope it's for a while in a sense. because like she's just that talented. Like she could be a workhorse. She could do all of that. Because like somebody like her, somebody like Io Sky, like Io Sky's match a couple weeks ago, Rhea Ripley. Stephanie's match with anybody. It's just you can get behind it through the wrestling. They don't need promos. They don't need to talk.
Hmm.
You just need to watch them in the ring, and you can get behind them, and the crowd does it. There's only a select few people who are that talented who can get a whole crowd behind them without cutting a promo. And I think she seems to be. She's one of them.
No, I agree with you 100%. She's definitely one of them. I don't think they're going to combine the titles. I think she's going to have to
No,
defend them
I hope not.
singly. You know what I mean? I'm going to defend
Yeah,
this one this time. I'm going to defend this one this time. And
absolutely.
I think Fallon Henley will be getting her title, her hands back on the North American Championship because I think somehow, some way, those three women are going to be like, well, I'm going to challenge you for this belt the same night that she's going to challenge you for this belt, and who knows? Stephanie might get over, you know what I mean, the first couple of times, but eventually, I think the wear and tear of having to do back to back matches will eventually catch up. Storyline, of course, kayfabe if we're talking, um, and eventually she's going to have to drop one of those titles, but I don't think she's dropping the NXT Women's title anytime soon. Not probably until Julia comes back and maybe get her hands,
Mm-hmm.
gets her face back. Um, I think Stephanie is an incredible talent, like you said. She is someone who definitely deserves this. Someone who doesn't need to cut promos because her wrestling just speaks for itself. Everything she does in the ring speaks for herself. Her gimmick when she comes down with the horns, everything about Stephanie, you could just look at her and say, "Oh yeah, that woman is a star. That woman is a champion." And and maybe was it a little too early? Was it too soon? Maybe, but it sucks that Julia is hurt. Right? It sucks that she has to take some time off, but we hope that she gets better. We hope that she comes back as quick as possible so she can continue to do all the great things that we know she can do in ring. And I think she's okay with dropping the title to Stephanie too, right? Because you're dropping it into the best hands possible
Mm-hmm.
on that women's roster.
Absolutely.
And that women's roster is stacked packed. We've said it here plenty of times that all of us have, that I think we've all said NXT probably has the best women's roster out. So, it's gonna be a little difficult. It's gonna be a little difficult how they play the story out with Julia being out. Where's Stephanie's direction going? Um, like I said, I think one of her directions right now is Stephanie Vaquer. But who is next for the NXT Women's Championship? That's the story that's really interesting. Who's going to be chasing her for that Women's Championship, the NXT title?
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see. Nirvana isn't here to talk Stephanie Vaquer, but I know he probably wanted to. We're gonna take a
Definitely.
Yeah, we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
What's up, my fellow bad guys? Just when you thought we were down bad, Brandy's here to pick us right back up. Thanks to our partnership with SeatGeek, we got good seats and great prices. New users can score a fantastic $20 off their final ticket purchase by using the exclusive promo code 4SIDESOTR at checkout for any event. That's 4SIDESOTR. Tell them the bad guy sent you.
Tell them the bad guy sent you. Unless it's a moving company, Chano Hayes has tried it. They said, "Who is the bad guy, sir? You owe us $150 for moving your furniture." I don't know who this bad guy is that you're talking about, but you're gonna make me into a bad guy, and I don't want to do that.
He said he tried it at Wendy's the other day and it didn't work. I was surprised by that one.
Whoa, Wendy's, what's going on? We had a deal.
Well, they just know me. They
We
just
had
know
the
me.
we had. I thought we had the $8 bad guy biggie bag. What was going on? I don't know.
Man, they're not playing games, man. There's a few
Play.
gas station the other day didn't give him 5 cents off on gas. I was like, what? Like,
Do you know who I am? Like that's
do you
crazy.
know? Yeah, you gotta make some phone calls.
As the founder, I'm gonna have to make some phone calls. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to do my part. I'm sorry about that. That shouldn't be happening. You should be getting your 5 cents off per gallon. I'm sorry that happened.
Absolutely.
I apologize. But you already know when you guys see the SeatGeek ad, our friends over there at SeatGeek, they like to sponsor our Move the Needle. And this week is Mr. Speedball Mike Bailey, who made his debut. A fantastic debut, if you ask me. Not only did he get to go over a dominant name like Beast Mordos, it was an incredible match. It was awesome to see him. We've met him. I've met him multiple times. You finally got to meet him. Sir, does Speedball Mike Bailey move the needle for you?
Absolutely, he moves the needles. He's just kick ass as hell. When we met him in person, he was mad cool, like calm, but like in the ring, that boy be flying. We actually got to see him wrestle at WrestleMania too, I believe. And he's the
Hmm.
boy. He absolutely was another one of those people that no promos, bust your ass in the ring, and you get behind him just by watching him in the ring.
Facts. Nitram, your boy, Speedball Mike Bailey. Welcome back. He had his debut match. Do you think he moves the needle for you?
100%. Brendan can testify for this. Before he even came out, when they said wild card, I was like, "Oh, Speedball, Speedball, Speedball." And when his music hit, wasn't that big a fan of the music. I'll be honest. I'm real used to his Brass Monkey days. Um, but yeah, no, Speedball definitely moves the needle. He's a wrestler that can put anybody in a situation to be in a 5-star predicament. And for that reason, I think he's going to do incredible things. So, yeah, no, Speedball definitely moves the needle.
No, I agree. I agree with both of you. He definitely moves the needle for me. I'm a huge fan of Speedball Mike Bailey. Like Brandy Savage said, he's also one of those guys that doesn't have to cut a promo or anything. Like his work just speaks for itself. When he gets in the ring, you know you're going to have a fantastic match. You know he's going to do incredible things, probably stuff you've never seen. And I will say, I think he is the best guy who's actually converted karate into wrestling and doesn't make it look corny. I'm just saying.
I think he teeters the line between making it look corny. I'm not trying to shit on him at all. At all. I'm just saying he's not the guy I would say makes karate not look cheesy.
I'm not saying he doesn't. I'm saying like the moves that he chose, like the moves that he picked to put in his style for wrestling, just works in his way. You know what I mean? Like
So
the
the
kicks
first
work.
thing
The kicks are fantastic. You know what I mean? The kicks are fantastic. The chops are great. Um, I think when he does the flips, it's awesome. I just think everything he does is fantastic.
I'm a big fan of mixed people, and the first thing I actually said, like when we were watching him AEW, I was like, well, if you're gonna lose a Malachi Black, it's nice to get anti Malachi with Speedball Mike Bailey. But like he
Mm-hmm.
just kind of similar like way that he does it. I guess I say cheesy because he's a baby face and he's more like likable in that sense, and he
Hmm.
does it with a smile. But like I think they have like a similar set where like it's believable kicks to the face that knock you out. Although the finish wasn't, I felt like he needed to land that harder.
Facts. Okay, I agree with that. I could see what you're saying, but he definitely moves the needle for all. I'm happy to hear that he moves all the needles for us. Um, Chano's in the chat. He says he's glad to see Bernie back. He also said he went to the dentist and said that the bad guy sent him, and they told him the discount will start working once he's back and you're back. So Chano, go ahead and go get that root canal that you want, bro. He, hey
And he's
Chano, he
getting
said he.
veneers, bro. He's getting his whole veneers changed.
Oh man, fellas, did you guys enjoy NXT Roadblock on Tuesday night?
Absolutely.
I thought it was interesting. We had a lot of good moments. We had the Undertaker Open Femi
Yeah,
moment. We had obviously we talked about it a little earlier. The double champion Stephanie Vaquer, Javon Evans did his thing. We saw the new Shield, what looks like to be the new Shield, I should say. Nitram, what were your thoughts on Roadblock?
I thought it was good, really good put together card. I didn't need the LFG people there, the Mickey James, the Taker. They didn't do anything for me. Um, and as great as the matches were, I think my favorite talking point was still Ethan Page saying NXT doesn't take well to outsiders, to Ricky Saints. I thought that line stole the whole show.
Huh. Brandy, how were you feeling about Roadblock?
So I think when you looked at the card of Roadblock, and you said you can easily tell which matches are going to deliver, and which matches just the margarita matches off rip. And you knew that was going to be consistent. I feel like what was good on the card was good, like between the Oba and Moose match, the Jordan Grace and Roxanne match. Like those ones are going to be the good ones. But like the Ethan Page Devon Evans match, I thought would be better. And actually, I kind of enjoyed the whole card. I actually just watched it like before we watched the paper, before we got on to record.
No, yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was I wanted to watch. There was a lot of matches that I wanted to see. I wanted to see Obafemi Moose because I wanted to see how that was going to go, and it went the way that I wanted it to go. Oba winning. Moose looked. I don't know what it was, but Moose did look good.
He looked good. He
Maybe
was strong.
maybe it was the WWE production and he was, or maybe it was he was allowed to do some certain things that he can't do on TNA. But for the first time he looked really good, right? Oba, fantastic. Javon Evans, Ethan Page, great match. Stephanie Valkyr, Julia, great match. The Hardys versus Fraxium, man, banger tag team match. Um, Overall, NXT Roadblock was really good. NXT was cooking at the theater at Madison Square Garden. It was really cool to see that they brought that feel and livelihood of wrestling back to the theater. And hopefully, this isn't the only time. Hopefully, they go back and they do more shows there. You know what I mean? I would love to see it used. I would love to see NXT sell out Madison Square Garden. I think they could do it if you get the right card. So give it some time, and we'll
Should do it.
definitely
I
get
don't know
there.
if they'll
But
sell out, but they should
they
definitely
probably
do
won't
it.
sell it out. They won't.
Yeah.
They probably won't sell it out, but they should definitely do it. But anyway, overall, really great card. It was really fun to watch. Happy that it was on free television. I think it usually is on free television. I could have sworn it was. It used to be a WWE pay per view, right? Roadblock.
Yeah, most of the NXT
It
pay-per-views are
was
old
it was
school
pay per view once.
WCW,
It was pay per
ECW,
view ones,
or
right? Couldn't remember.
yeah, they're like all old ones. Holly
Um,
Havoc and shit like that.
yeah.
Triple
Overall,
H fought John Moxley at Roadblock.
that's what it was.
Trivia
Hmm.
King, Trivia King.
Trivia King over here. Yeah. Um, Fellas, I have a quick question, and this was really on my mind since Wednesday night, and it's why I want to ask you guys because I feel like someone is being presented way better than somebody else. They're around the same age. They are top prospects. Also, they were considered top prospects in the sport of professional wrestling. Now that they're both signed to major promotions, I guess they're not prospects anymore. But you could tell that they're the future of wrestling. We all love Javon Evans. Great talent. Kid can do anything. As Brandy Savage would say,
Hmm.
he's bouncy. But there's also
Absolutely
somebody who
bouncing.
was there's also somebody who was climbing the ranks and doing really good things in wrestling and was doing good things at AEW, almost got murdered. He's in a faction with Christian Cage. It's Nick Wayne. And my question to the both of you tonight is should Nick Wayne be presented more like Javon Evans? Let's start with Nick Ram.
Yeah, he should. There's not a lot of young people who are extremely talented off gate, and Nick Wayne is one of those people. He's an extremely talented wrestler. As soon as he spoke up, 'cause me and Brendan were sitting side by side, I was like, "Oh, it's time to see if Nick Wayne can carry his own." Because if he can't, then yeah, he gets left behind the dust. His promo skill really needs to elevate. I thought that segment went really well. Christian telling his mom to go back to Waffle House was also a crazy line, but he stood his own
Wow.
ground. And I know he can wrestle. That's no surprise. But can he make himself stand out from everyone else that can wrestle? And I feel like for Javon, it's a lot easier to do in NXT when everyone there is still figuring it out. And you're kind of already ahead of the curve compared to Nick Wayne, where you're on a roster where catchphrase for catchphrase, the best wrestler.
Okay. Brandy Savage, how you feeling? Do you think Nick Wayne should be presented more like Javon Evans?
So the reason why I say yes is because I think the way Javon Evans is being presented, actually, okay. I think Javon Evans gets more in ring time and more in ring like to showcase, where like Nick Wayne gets more TV time, and he's more like a focal point in stories, and he has a part like you know what I mean. But they both get legend ropes. I do think they kind of, in a sense, get treated the same way, but one just gets to showcase his talent more. But yeah, I mean, because I'm not a big believer in Nick Wayne, but like they both get like similar roles on like one has a I guess you could say a managerial role on main roster TV, and the other has like talent, like just being like a singles talent. I feel like Nick. Yeah, they should basically be on the. They should. I don't know. I think they're both basically. I feel like they're at the same level.
I think for me, it's personally, I want to see Nick Wayne wrestle as much as I'm watching Javon Evans wrestle.
I haven't seen him wrestle. And that's because that's kind of what like, I guess I'm getting at. Is like, no, I can't. Either I have seen him wrestle, and I don't remember it, and it wasn't memorable, or I just
Mhm.
haven't seen him wrestle. I haven't seen him wrestle since his his beef with Swerve.
Right. That's what I'm
That's like
getting at.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Javon, if he's not having a segment on NXT, he's having a match. It's one or the other. Sometimes
Mhm.
even both. But Nick Wayne doesn't. It's not getting that. And I think you're right. I think the last time that he really had a singles match was when he was battling it out with Swerve, and that was
And
like the
with
only
AR, what was it his name?
AR
The other
Fox, yeah,
dude,
AR
AR Fox.
AR Fox, yeah. That was a
Air
really
Fox.
one of the only times we got like a solo singles match from him, and I was really thinking about this because I truly like Nick Wayne. You know what I mean? Me and Nick Rand, we got to meet him in person. He was a great guy. He was awesome to meet, and we got to watch him wrestle. And I was just like, man, this is really good. AEW has a stud on their hands, right? And we're not getting to see him. And I want to see him wrestle because I know he's got a bag. I know he can do these things. And maybe you're right. Maybe he has that role right now where he's just learning everything he can from Christian Cage, maybe Kip Sabian, and they'll push him when the time is right. It looks like we're getting there between him and Christian Cage. We don't know yet, but I just want to see him doing the things that Javon Evans is doing because I know he can do it. I'm not saying he could. I'm not saying he could do it better because I think Javon Evans is probably better than him in ring. Not probably, he is better than him in ring. But I want to see
Mhm.
him do those things because I know he can. And I really feel like Tony Khan in AEW is hiding a rose in the concrete right now. You know what I mean? And just let the kid blossom. Man. Let the kid go out there and do his thing because I promise you, people will get behind him. People will start cheering for him, and you probably could push him to the stars.
But I mean, like at the same time, he is on main roster. He is getting
Well, I mean, they
TV
only
time and
they
rub.
only had main rosters though.
That's what I'm saying. But he's still on like, well, he's on ROH. Like he's still on the main roster. He's still learning the ropes. Maybe they just that's their way of development. You
I
know what I'm
see what you're
trying to
saying.
say?
I see what you're saying, but I'm not even sure if he's having ROH matches.
Mhm.
No, I don't know if I mean that like him sitting next to Christian. This is their way of development, like
I got you.
mentoring.
Yeah. The mentor. Yeah, I
Yeah.
see what you're saying. Well, I see what you're saying. Speaking about mentors, MVP said he mentored MJF in a car ride. Apparently, driving him to a documentary. I don't know if this is a true story or not. I'm going to say it's true because they said it on television. Um, are you guys interested in an MJF Hurt Syndicate alliance for Randy Savage?
I said it on TV. It must be true. You know what I mean? It's definitely not embellished at all. But no, I definitely think I'm interested in all angles this can go. Because I would love to see him join up with the Hurt Syndicate because MJF is a hurt man who hurts people. And it might be good for him to join some other people who hurt people. But we know he's not joining nobody. He don't have friends. He don't do that anymore. So no, I think I don't know what the angle is. I mean, personally, I think fighting any of the three is a banger match. It could be Shelton Benjamin, MVP, or Bobby Lashley. It's gonna be a good match.
I agree. I could see MVP telling him, "No, MJF. I think you got us wrong. We don't hurt feelings. We hurt people." And then they jump him. Name, how you feeling? You think? Would you be excited? Would you be excited for an MJF Hurt Syndicate alliance?
Yeah, I mean, I thought the segment that these guys had was great. I thought it really did its point when MJF was like, "I don't need you. I'm a former." Oh no, he said, "What he said? I was the longest reigning AEW champion." And then all MVP said was, key word there was. And he then grabbed the card. Then that led to the backstage segment of Hangman being like, "You were gonna light me on fire. You wouldn't do that because you really don't hurt nobody." I think it all just lines up. I think MJF being the Owen Hart of this group fits well. So yeah, I hope we do get a small thing. It's not the first time MJF just threw himself in a random faction. He was in the inner circle. He was with the Pinnacle. He
Mm-hmm.
was, what I'm saying, he randomly throws himself and then just gets what he needs and leaves. So yeah, I'm real excited for this because they hurt people and it's a banger theme song.
That is true. Let's move on. Our guy, the aerial assassin, Will Ospreay, came out and cut. I'm not gonna lie, a promo he didn't need to cut. My man was out there talking about how his wife was upset at him. It was longer than what it needed to be. All he had to do was go out there and tell us he was going to enter the Owen Hart Foundation tournament, and say he was going to win. My question to you guys is: now that he said he was going to enter the tournament, do you think he will win NitRam?
Nah, I don't think he does. I also don't think it's Jay White. I don't know who wins the Owen Hart tournament, but I don't think it's neither of those men. Honestly, I think that's MJF.
Okay.
Like I said, it's all fitting together for me for MJF being Owen Hart.
Okay. Bernie Savage.
I mean, never wrong with Will Ospreay, but I mean, never been brought up Speedball, and it's like one of those things. Like, why would you bring somebody in new just to lose within their first 3 matches? So I mean, it probably should be Speedball. I would probably go with Speedball, Daddy.
Well, we'll see. I mean,
No, but that's
Ricochet.
different tournament.
That's different
That's
tournament.
a different
Yeah.
tournament. Is it? Oh, that's my
Different
bad.
tournament. Yeah.
Let's see.
The tournament that Speedball's in is for the International Championship.
There was
With Kenny Omega.
multiple tournaments at one time. It's not how wrestling's. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Just joking.
I mean, I don't know. It really depends on who else is part of this tournament. I could see MJF being a part of the tournament. I could see Hangman Adam Page being a part of this tournament. I could see Jay White being a part of this tournament. Man, there's so many guys. Konosuke Takeshita could be a part of this tournament. There's so many big names you could throw out there to try to get the spot at All In.
Yeah, former winner also Adam Cole.
Adam Cole. You know what I mean? You could probably have him and MJF meet somewhere in the table. You know what I mean? And continue that godforsaken story that nobody wants to see. But
and Jeff
I don't know.
Jarrett. Don't forget Jeff Jarrett.
Something about when a wrestler comes out and says he's going to win the tournament just says you're not going to win it. But I'm going to tune in because you're a part of it. And we'll see. I hope nothing but the best things for Will Ospreay, but I don't think he's going to win the tournament. I think he's just going to come up short. But I still think somehow, some way, he finds his way to be a part of All In, even if he has to join the conglomeration. And it's him and Jay Briscoe versus just two random guys. For some odd reason, they're always throwing out
Mark Briscoe, bro.
I'm
Briscoe.
sorry.
Jay's dead.
Rest in peace, Jay Briscoe. I'm sorry, Mark Briscoe. But for some odd reason, they're always throwing out Brian Cage and now, oh boy, and just random tag team matches. So maybe you can get a match right there, Will Ospreay. You guys don't look like you're up for it. 0 Hour, Will Ospreay. Oh, could you
Will
imagine?
Ospreay's on the 0 hour.
Could you imagine the IWC if Will Ospreay's on the 0 hour?
I'd be like Bully Ray, bro. I'd be tweeting just like Bully Ray. This is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. This is not how a company does it.
Booking Like a Mark says, unfortunately, AEW doesn't fill the Owen Hart tournament with main eventers. But Mark, this might be their time. This might be their time to do it, to just really have a packed tournament with the best of the best. Okada. When does the tournament start? Will it start when Shinsuke Nakamura becomes a free agent?
I think it starts after Dynasty.
I gotta see when Shinsuke is becoming a free agent. Because if there's a mystery opponent, I'm gonna call Shinsuke Nakamura. Just saying.
You got Josh Alexander too.
Josh Alexander too, as well. I forgot about him. Yeah, as well as Josh Alexander. We'll see. Let's go ahead and move on to our main event question of the evening.
It looks like all the talking has been done. It's time for the main event.
Fellas, main event question to the both of you tonight is: should Swerve Strickland be the guy to dethrone Jon Moxley and become a two-time AEW World Champion? Let's start with NitRam.
100%. If Swerve Strickland isn't the guy, there's no one else in that roster who is the guy. And I stand 10 toes down on that. Swerve is the most over wrestler on your roster, and he is tied to some of the best storylines that you have. You have Swerve Hangman, Swerve MJF, Swerve Will Ospreay. You run all that back. The Moxley thing needs to end. Let Swerve be the guy for AEW. He is that dude. He's that guy already. Make him the guy officially. Put it back on Swerve.
Brandon Savage, how you feeling about Swerve Strickland? Do you think he's the guy to dethrone John Moxley and become a two-time AEW World Champion?
Absolutely. I mean, like he said, he's the guy. There's nobody else really on AEW. I mean, there's only one other guy I would think of for storyline purposes that would make sense who has to like save the day. But that could work both ways. He could help Swerve, or Daniel Bryan can come back and win that belt himself and save the day. But either way,
Mm.
I think Daniel Bryan has to be tied into it. But I think it should be Swerve. We don't need a two-time Daniel Bryan champion. He should be the guy who coaches the guy to beat his former team and the guys who turned on him.
Mm. I retract my
What if they
answer.
did training montages?
Yes, the training montages. I want it.
I want to redo my answer. If there's a mystery opponent for the Owen Hart tournament, I'm going to say it's Brian Danielson now. Because Brandy just spoke facts. I even totally forgot about him, right? But fellas, I agree with both of you. I think Swerve Strickland needs to be the guy, like Nate Ram said. If he doesn't, then what was the point of him doing all this? Why did he fight for a number one contendership? Why is he doing all these things? Um, I kind of understand what John Moxley's doing, but at the same time, I don't like what he's doing. Like I said, I've said it over and over and over again. What's the point of your promotion, and what's the point of having a champion who doesn't show off the title, doesn't show the belt? He's holding it hostage for the reasons I know why, because he feels like AEW is not where it's supposed to be, and he might be right. But let me see the title, John Moxley. I know it's not in that small briefcase. I know it's not. The belt's too heavy. My guy, Brendan, the guy, didn't give me a replica, but let me hold his replica, and it's heavy. Okay, I know it's not in that.
Be swinging that thing around.
I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you. Put the title back on Swerve Strickland. Like Nate Ram says, anytime he's part of anything, it's always great. It's always going to be good. Run back some of your greatest stories. Run back him. We need to run him and Jay White. Why haven't we had that? You know what I mean? There's things that we could cook on AEW with Swerve Strickland that you just can't do with John Moxley. So I agree with both of you. Make Swerve Strickland a two-time AEW World Champion, because he will elevate. He will bring eyes to your TV. I don't care what anybody says. I will fight that. That man is a star, and everything he does is money. No pun intended. Or I guess it's Monet. No pun intended.
God, we starting rumors over here.
No, I'm not starting rumors. Just having a little bit of fun. Next week, everybody. Sadly, your boys won't. No, next week we will be in the building. We're trying to work out some details. Brady and I are going to a Knicks game, but I have some exciting news. On the 27th, we will have a special guest. His name is Big Mo. He is a host and DJ on 102 Jams. He's going to come into the building. He's going to talk some wrestling with us. He's a huge wrestling fan. We're excited for that. Other than that, Booking Like a Mark says he would like to see a Hangman. He would like to see Hangman end the reign since he's an AEW original.
They got to give it
Agree?
to MJF before they give it to Hangman.
Maybe
Maybe.
before Hangman too.
Give it back to MJF
Yeah.
beforehand. Giving it back to MJF.
Nah,
Hangman?
you gotta give it. I feel you gotta give it to this. He's
I
one
don't
of
know.
those guys that like. It's
I
tough.
really
They don't
like what
make
Jay
baby
White said.
faces.
I really like what Jay White said. He had it until he got robbed. So technically, he's still the original number. I love the fact that he said, "I am the number one contender." So I would like to. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I would love to see Jay White with that title.
That's what I want to see, man.
That's what I want to see. So I can change that picture that we took with him, because he looks so sad when we asked him to hold that
It's so
title.
sad.
Chano, I blame you for that.
Yeah, man, he was so like the blind in the belly's. This is bad juju, I guess. I'm not gonna lie. I told Juice that Chano sent me to him because he wants him to be the champion. Juice, as world heavyweight champion. You know, but we'll see. One day,
We'll see.
maybe one day.
Yo,
Fellas,
what if TK saw that photo and was like, oh, okay, Jay, you think you could just go around taking pictures of my title? You know what? You're no longer number one contender.
Joe,
We're the reason why
Joe,
Jay White's career went down.
Don't put that blame on us, Ricky Bobby. Don't put that blame on four sides of the ring. There was plenty of other people there with AEW world titles that made him take a picture with it. Don't be coming at us like that. What's wrong with you? With that being said, let's go ahead and get our plugs out, boys.
You know, it's been great. I love it. It's been fun being back. You know where to find me. Brandy freaking Savage, FKN on Twitter. Instagram is Life and Times. And it's been real, guys. I'm excited to be back.
And of course, I am Nit Ram, the one that makes them say, oh, damn. And you can find me on Twitter at NITRAM_4SOTR, where I will switch up my opinion the way my camera switch up its camera's angles. You don't know what's going on.
Yes, sir. I am Marcus Hernandez. You can find me at the Founder MH. But most importantly, follow us on all of our social media platforms. Four Sides of the Ring Podcast, Four Sides OTR. We're on Threads. We're on every piece of social media. If you are on YouTube, subscribe. If you're watching us right now, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you catch up on everything that we're talking about. Like I said, we are going to have Big Mo in the building with us in 2 weeks. We will catch you guys next week. Enjoy Friday Night SmackDown. Enjoy your weekend. And always remember, if you are not enjoying wrestling, you are not watching it right. We will catch you guys next week. Were you lagging, Tony?
Yes, he was.